What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We're back at it again with another episode of the Why I'm Geek show with your homies AJ and Chrissy Light. And today it's episode 126, but it's gonna be a little different. This week, me and Chris kind of went different ways in the things that we saw, but we still, wanted to come on here and discuss them as much as we can. But today, before we get into it, Chris, how you feeling, bro?
You're doing good. Pretty excited for this episode. I mean, this one's drastically different than any podcast we've ever done. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. And, a lot of energy is going to come from this one.
That's right. So today, we're going to be covering Bob Marley, One Love, and Madam Web. So I went and saw Bob Marley just because I weighed the two options and I was like, what would I rather see?
Yeah.
And I chose Bob Marley, but Chris ended up seeing Madam Web, which surprised me. Just out the gate because of everything that's done happened, like as far as like the scene and things like that. But Bob Marley's a biopic, so I kind of just want to go in real quick and then we can get to Madam Web stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, sounds good.
So Bob Marley, I think the movie was, I think it was smooth as far as like a watch, like, but the thing that, biopics are always going to be judged on is the main character, like who the movie is about, right? So Kingsley Ben-adir Kingsley, from Secret Invasion, plays Bob Marley, and that pulled up a lot of controversy, just because he's British and he's from over the pond, and he's playing Bob Marley. Now, if you ask me, I think it's a good casting as far as like what could Bob Marley look like now when it's not, obviously it's not autobiography or whatever, but I think the casting of that is like smooth, and they did the locks. Like that's the thing I was looking at the most throughout the movies, like the stages of his locks, because they're not real, but they looked as real as like they're not Tyler Perry locks. You know what I'm saying? Like they did justice to him. But I could barely understand this movie, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Like the accents was going crazy. The Jamaican accents was going crazy, and I kind of just like accepted it after like the first, like I was like, okay, by the time this is over, I'll be able to understand more. But like, you really need the subtitles when watching this joint, just because of that, for me at least. But the premise of the movie was kind of just like Bob Marley's awakening to just becoming his full self, and like bridging the gap between like the message and the music. And it was, in that sense, I think the movie was good. But as far as like the cultural aspects, I can't speak too much to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of why I don't always like talk and watch a lot of biopics unless like I know a lot about the person, or it's somebody like Bob Marley where it's like, yeah, I should probably go see that, and it's just like, it was all right. Like, it was all right. The other people in the movie, like Lashana Lynch was in it, and I think she was good, just because it's like he played Bob Marley's wife, and you got to see the dynamics of their relationship, but at the same time with like the plot, there's a lot of like jumping around, so it's like hard to gauge how much time has passed, what's going on. And it's like it's over the course of him making the album, so there's a lot of things happening. You're kind of just flowing with it, and it's a nice flow. But when you look back at it, it's just like, man, this movie felt really long, even though it was only like an hour and 45 minutes. Like by the time it was over, I was like, all right, on to the next thing. But Was it like amazing? Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's a biopic, so
I had a question. I heard
yeah.
that uh the movie wasn't necessarily like from like start his like the beginning of his life to like the end, like it was just
Hmm.
like a segment. Do you think
Yeah,
that helped out the movie that it was just like a segment, or do you kind of wish they would have expanded like more?
I think it helped the family because there's probably like more things like because while I was watching, I could tell I was like, yeah, there's definitely more sides to this story than we're actually getting, but
Oh, okay.
because it's Bob Marley, this is the only side we're gonna get, and it was a very like one-sided, like you left out there feeling like Bob Marley could kind of like just do no wrong
Okay.
in a sense. So it was like
Like they
on
didn't want to
that
shed a certain light on.
yeah, like it was very safe in that sense. Where there was like they spoke on like the political things that were happening at the same time and touched on some of the different leaders and things like that, but they kept it very central to the character, and the character or the person of Bob Marley was just like he's not into politics, so it's like they didn't really get into how much of an effect that had, and it was very like music centric. There was a lot of singing, but it was like a lot of the process that we got to see, and that was like the more fun portions to watch. The performances, I never really watched a Bob Marley performance. I just know the music, but at the end of the movie, they showed footage from back in the day. Um, of it. And then if you line that up with Kingsley's performance of it, I think it was pretty accurate. I was wondering the whole time, like, why he won't open his eyes, but that's just how Bob Marley performed. Like, that's just what he was doing. So it's like, in that sense, the betrayal was there. But as far as like all the accents and all the Rastafarian culture and things like that, I can't really speak to that because I just don't know, But as somebody that don't have no information, it was smooth, but it wasn't like
Okay.
groundbreaking performance for me, at least.
Hmm.
So like leaving out the theater, it felt more like an 8. In
Okay.
today's times, it feels like a 7. You know,
So
and
sort of
like
like if you've never seen it, you may give it a watch.
yeah, I think it deserves a watch. I don't think it's a bad movie by any means, but I think
Like I
it
didn't I
would
didn't go see Elvis, but I've heard like good things about it. But
yeah,
like, well,
I
it's kind of like maybe if you just happen to see it on like
would
streaming, you'd
just
be like, you know what, I got time today.
that's where I think it belongs is on streaming. Even though there's big name actors and people involved, I would rather see this on streaming. But it's Bob Marley, so you got to put it in theaters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but I think it'll do better once it gets to streaming, is what I would
Hmm.
say to it. But those are just like my initial thoughts, because it's hard to just like when it's a biopic, and it's like there's history happening. So it's like, where do you judge the movie being the movie? And the only thing I could say to that would just be like the pacing of it and then the overall message and then the full circle moment at the end. I think it closed well. It's like a feel good you of movie, you know?
Nice.
So that's what I would say. But I don't know. Go watch it. See what happens. See what you think.
Yeah, I did hear good stuff on it. I
Hmm.
did hear um that the main actor like hired an entire like I think it was called like movement coach. I guess
Hmm.
this acting
Movement
world
was
like,
crazy. Yeah.
and like the coach had to just pretty much bring to life like how Bob Marley would move and perform.
Hmm.
And I heard rave reviews that yeah, that looks like it.
Yeah.
100% like looks like it.
But if you was to watch it like in the moment and you didn't know that, you'd
Yeah.
be kind of like, "Oh, is this
Is
how
he
I'm supposed
okay?
to go?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how much that the music was making them like express and feel, to where it was like worship at the same time. It was like
Uh-huh.
a whole lot of, you know, and that's what he did. So like in that sense, like outside of the accident, which is something that you can't really like
Yeah.
necessarily fix, or like unless you depending on how much time you spend. I think he did as good as he could,
Yeah.
and I think he played the role in what they was trying to say about um Bob Marley well,
Yeah.
you know. So that's what I got.
So you're gonna leave it on a smooth seven,
Yeah, I'll
seven
leave
point
it.
five.
Nah, I'll leave it at a 7. I'll leave
All
it at
right.
a 7. Yeah,
That's all though.
but yeah.
And you did, and you probably made the right choice with your money.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into it, bro. Madam Web, take it away, Chris.
Oh man, I mean, we had a small conversation when we heard the buzz, and I think I
Mhm.
hit the group chat, the movie club,
Yeah.
pretty much saying the Twitter sphere, the review sphere, everyone who saw it early, and some people have those little shorts like first reactions out the movie theater.
Right.
It wasn't looking good for Madam Web. And we have another member of the movie club. I
Mhm.
think maybe early December, whenever that first trailer dropped.
Mhm.
We had a little chat about, hey, we all gonna go see Madam Web or Madam
Yeah.
Web? What y'all think?
Yeah.
And even the movie club was not too excited about this movie. So to hear all the chatter, and I heard on the radio
Mhm.
some review guy, I don't know, from our local news channel,
Yeah.
done gave it like a point 0.5. I was
Oh
like,
my god.
yo, I gotta go see this. I have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
If it's a point 0.5 out of 5, like I have to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the first half I was like, this alright, this
Mhm.
alright. It's not a point 0.5. It's not a
Yeah.
point 0.5. Yeah, this is probably the worst movie I've seen. I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
lie. And
god.
I don't think it's I think it's Dakota Johnson. She used to be in
Mm.
50 Shades of Grey way back in the day. At least that's how I know her from.
Okay.
I don't think it's even her fault. I think this Sony, Marvel, Spider-Man people who make these movies,
Yeah.
they gotta be fired, bro. They have to. Because what I saw at first, I was immediately saying, like, this is a 5 or a 4 type movie.
Dang.
Nothing great. Already you can sort of see what's going on. You're just like,
Yeah.
maybe there could be some fun in it. Maybe this leads to more. I mean, that always goes into the rating and how I feel.
Mm.
But man, at the end of it, it just makes me feel like whoever directed this, whoever greenlit this has to go because you should not be making movies.
Yeah.
And that
That's crazy.
and I wasn't even angry. I think with Morbius, I was way more disappointed. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
this some trash. Like,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
some trash.
Yeah.
And I think Halloween Kills, I murdered because I'm just like, you had so many other movies already, and then on the last movie, you disrespected this much.
Mhm.
Like, this movie's so bad that I did not care. Like, it
Man.
has nothing redeeming about it. It has nothing good
Yeah.
that you would go back to. And you would waste your money to go see this in the theater.
Wow.
So I was gonna
Wow.
leave it up to you to decide if you wanted to go see it because you were kind of like, I'm gonna go see Bob Marley. I don't think I'm gonna see Madam Web, and I don't want to be
Yeah.
like, because really, the rumors were already swirling that it was not a good movie, and I
Facts.
mean, they are right.
Yeah.
Th- This
But
Sony division of Marvel has to stop. They have to stop making movies.
Venom is good though. Venom is good.
Venom's solid.
Yeah.
I think the characters of Venom and Carnage and what you can do with that
Yeah.
really boosts it.
Mhm.
Madam Web does not have any of that.
They got
And
names.
the one of the biggest things that's so disrespectful when you watch this movie
Not
is
disrespectful.
the trailer has like 3 characters
Yeah.
that have superpowers. But the whole premise of the movie is they don't have the superpowers in this time
Mhm.
in this current phase of whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So they're just normal kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad guy is trying to kill them before they become the superpowered people.
Right.
So even going, like, watching it, it's not even the movie you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they would have gotten powers in this, or it did have them superpowered, maybe it gets a little better.
Yeah.
Bro, this movie is garbage. And I'm not even, like, describing a lot that happened in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
You're doing good. You're doing good right now.
I'm at, like, the base level. Because for them to even advertise and show, I think, what's her name? Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. It's put her on blast, bro.
Like, in there.
Yeah.
And have her in the Spidey suit. I think she was hanging upside down or something. I can't remember in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's just, it's fake, bro. It's like the fakest thing I've ever seen.
So the trailer movie ratio was horrendous, was what you're saying.
It broke the scale.
Oh my God.
It broke the scale.
Yeah.
And like I said, the main actor, I think it's Cassie Webb in the movie, Dakota Johnson. Like, her parts aren't even that bad, and I think most people would say it's pretty bad. But it's just kind of like the script doesn't work well. There's a ton of plot holes when you really think about how did we get from here to there, how the powers work.
Yeah.
Even if I was putting on my thinking hat, like, these powers, yo, you unlocked it at the perfect time, or you're always here at the perfect moment. And then deep down, I feel like there are other movies you could have took inspiration from and made this so much cooler with Madam Web.
Okay.
It just doesn't have any of it. It has a bad villain, bad writing, and then the three other characters besides the main character, they technically are just in there to keep the movie going in a way.
Okay.
They got to stop. They got to be stopped.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not even mad at it. I'm not even angry. It's just kind of like one of those things. Someone should be fired. Someone needs to be let go, because you shouldn't greenlight stuff like this. You shouldn't spend millions of dollars. This is wasteful.
Yeah.
And it's just sad, because someone else definitely could have wrote a better movie, wrote a better script. It's sad. It's sad that this level of movie can come out in theaters, bro.
That's wild, bro. Bro, you stay coming for people's jobs, bro, and that's hilarious to me.
Yeah. hey, bro. Hey.
I understand where you're coming from. So quick question. And you can think about this while I speak on what I'm about to say. You said in your take just now that, like, there's a lot of movies that they could have referenced to make this movie better, in a sense. I want you to name some after I say what I have to say, so I can get an idea of where you come from. Because I watched the trailer, obviously, because I did a reaction to it, but I just think all the press around this movie also set it up to fail as hard as it did, because every single clip of either Sydney Sweeney or Dakota Johnson or whoever was saying, like, oh yeah, you've never seen a superhero movie like this. Oh yeah, you've never seen a Spider-Man movie in this way. Like, this is groundbreaking. This is this and that. And they were right, but it was in the wrong way. Like, so the amount of discourse around it feels even more heightened, that even though I will see the movie, I don't feel like I need to, in a sense, to get a gist of how bad it was. Because the main reason why I didn't go see it was I feel like my mind was already made up before I went into the theater. So it didn't really justify me being like, okay, like, I'm gonna actually give it a fair chance. I feel like I would rather see this on like streaming, or like later on rented or something like that, you know. But I seen a I think it was like IGN or something. I don't know who it was, but they had some wild take that I haven't heard
Uh-huh.
like anybody make before, in the sense that they said Madam Web will be a slumber party sleeper, right? Or something like to that effect. Essentially, that this is the movie that will take over slumber parties for the foreseeable future. I don't know why. Maybe because it'll put him to sleep. I don't know. But I was just like, that's a wild take to have when everybody's saying that this movie is bad. So I didn't go read the rest of the article, but that was like the headline. And
Yeah.
like all that information was like, yeah, Bob Marley sounded like a better watch to me. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend type beat. But that's kind of just where I'm standing, because everybody's like, this is the worst thing Marvel has ever done. But it's not Marvel, it's Sony. So it's like, what are we talking
Yeah,
about?
you have to also put in the fact that Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So even with their misses like Morbius,
Yeah.
it just seems like the person who greenlit
Mm-hmm.
Morbius, uh, it makes me think, okay, you just they gave you a bad movie,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, bro, we put too much money in, we gotta send it out.
Yeah.
To do it 2 times,
Mm-hmm.
it's just unforgivable. Like this is actual money being wasted,
Yeah.
and or talent evaluation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bruh,
They,
what are
they,
y'all looking at?
yeah. They might not ever get a chance to play any of these characters again based on this movie.
Yeah, and to have like a Sydney Sweeney in it,
Yeah.
like you don't even need that level of actor to
Mm-hmm.
do what you just did.
Yeah.
Like this could have easily been a movie to just have new people, new fresh faces, like
Mm-hmm.
first time on a big screen
Yeah.
and save some money. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy to imagine someone looked at this or read the script and said, "Oh yeah, we got a banger, or we got something, or we're
Yeah.
planning something." It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing on the list right now, they got Emma Roberts, they got Adam Scott, like they
Yup,
got names in
yup,
this junk,
they
you
do.
know. So it's just, it's that fatigue you also always are talking about now too, where it's like people are gonna start not wanting to see these movies because of things like this. And I feel like people are already aware of Sony, like in like the difference between Sony and the MCU part of like Marvel and Disney and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Like for you to say the, because like from what I'm, this is my guess. I have not seen the movie. This is my guess from like what you've said. Um, and then we can get back to my question of what you think could have made it better. Was essentially like, because it was three like Spider Women, right?
Yeah.
Um, and uh, in the trailer they show all three of them in their Spidey
Yep.
suits and doing their thing.
Yep.
But in the actual movie, that never happens. That's just a memory or a dream or the future
Yep.
web thing that she sees.
Exactly.
So the whole movie is more like Scream, in a sense
Sure.
of like, we're just gonna run away from this villain even though
Yep.
we're connected, but
Yep. You didn't
we
even see the
can't
movie.
we can't really tap into what was advertised to us.
Yeah.
And that's the state of it.
Yep.
Is that what happened, kind of?
I mean, exactly, bro.
Okay.
Madam Web has her powers, and we
Yeah.
learn about technically an origin story for her.
Mm-hmm.
But to have the three other people, we don't even get like enough character development for those three.
Yeah.
And to be honest, after you see the movie, after you see the villain, after you see everything Madam Web does,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of wonder, why not just rewrite the script? Why not
Yeah.
just have one of them already have their powers? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what the idea of it was.
Yeah.
Like having the three other Spidey women would have been way better somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and like I said, I don't think the main character's acting was bad, because there
Mm-hmm.
are bad stuff, but it's more of like the script writing, what they told them to say. The
Yeah.
bad guys' lines are horrible. I mean, bad. But
Yeah.
even just the plot, man, I tell people all the time I'm not one of those that can go in a theater and just take off my thinking hat and watch
Yeah.
the movie.
Hmm.
No. The plot, there's some dumb stuff. There's some reasonings where it's just like, why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen?
Hmm.
It it's just bad, bro. And
Man.
I thought if I saw a movie on this level, like I would be angry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that probably one of the worst movies you could see would be one that you already like didn't really care for, you know? Like
Mm.
now I
Yeah.
see like there's no way they can do like Ant-Man and it be this low. Like
Hmm.
maybe the Marvel will prove me wrong, but it has to be something like a Morbius. It has to be something like a Madam Web or a character that maybe we
Yeah.
don't really know a lot they don't have a lot to really work with to make likable or something. And
Yeah.
then you see it and you're like, yeah, what the heck is this? And I think this studio has 2 more movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I
I
think
mean,
it's
technically, Spider-Verse is a part of that too. But
yeah. Well, good thing they have good directors or something because
yeah.
all I think they really should have saw this script.
Hmm.
An executive should have said, all right, if this is the first version, I need a different version. Let's
Yeah.
spice this thing up a little bit. This is a no go for me.
Hmm.
I just can't believe they kept making this and
Yeah.
thought it was good. I don't know. I don't know.
I can't believe though how sized they really sized this junk. Like that's what I didn't get that part. Like, cause I know like when you're doing press, you want people to want to see the movie, right? And you're having these like big name actors and actresses um do press. And the press is like, yo, this is something you've never seen before. Like this is like next level. Like they just are just going crazy with it. And like I think I think we keep bringing up Sydney Sweeney um in this joint, but when I went to see this, and I was surprised that she was not the lead. And granted, I think her track record right now shows why that's not the case, because I don't think that love story movie that she was in recently did too hot out the gate. I think it was like Anybody But You.
Yeah.
Um I don't think that did amazing, but that seemed more like a Netflix movie to me
It
than
just definitely feels like she's a type of actress at this point in time.
yeah,
If they were trying to make her a Spider Woman,
right.
it seems like the right moment. Like, okay, let's get her in
Yeah.
here now.
Yeah.
Um,
She should have been the Black Cat. That's what she should have been in
yeah,
the
yeah,
Spider-Man movie.
and
Like
it's kind of like that level of celebrityism where,
yeah.
oh, that would be iconic right now because of her personality right now. And
Exactly.
I just wonder, like, after watching the movie, why? Well,
Yeah. Because even
what
her character in the trailer, from what I seen in the trailer,
made it seem more?
made it seem like it was gonna be more of like, oh, she still has that attitude regardless of like her outer appearance in like normal Sydney Sweeney before she gets powers, like type thing. You
Yeah,
know, like it was completely opposite kind of look or whatever. Because it's like I'm gonna just say it. She's the eye candy for a lot of these productions and stuff like that. Like she's the
yeah.
reason that people want to go see the movie, and it's like, I mean, I didn't see it, but you know, from the
Like,
trailer, it
it
don't
makes
look
me
like
even
they
wonder, like,
accentuated
do
that.
they read the script before they accept it? Because there's no way she read the script
Hmm.
and was like, "Yeah, I really wanna do this." It's just no way.
I don't
It's
know.
crazy.
I don't know, bro. But what would you? What movies would you use to make it better? Because we said that earlier. We didn't get to it.
Yeah, so if people don't know Madam Web, she pretty much has like she used to like sit on like this chair, I think, in the comic
Yeah,
book,
I used to think she was a
and
spider,
yeah,
actual
and
spider, but she's
she
not.
somehow like weaved like fate or controlled fate or destiny, and like
Hmm.
kind of knew what could happen or would happen,
Yeah,
and it was like up to like people to like break like fate or whatever.
canon events.
Simplistic way, but pretty much in the movie, it's similar to that. She starts to realize she has the ability to predict the future, and she's really trying to test the boundaries of this or figure out what the heck's going on.
Hmm.
So it's like, is it just I see the future and I can't stop it, or is it can I change it? And she like kind of learns that.
Yeah.
like works through it because it's technically her origin story.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, it really makes me feel like I don't know if you ever saw the movie Happy Death Day
I know what that
with
is. Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, pretty much in Happy Death Day, they replay the same day over and over again, and there's like a killer on the loose. And
Yeah.
pretty much the main character goes through the same day, and then they get killed at the end, and they're trying to figure out who the killer is. So they do
Mm-hmm.
different stuff, different days, or like they give up one day, like just murder me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they slowly piece it together at the end, and then they stop the killer, and then they go on to the next day, like
Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Right.
And with a movie like Madam Web, it's just the perfect formula because she's trying to figure out, okay, do I figure out how does this even work? How do I know the future? Can I change the future? And because there's even scenes where it's kind of like she already lived it and has deja vu, and then
Yeah.
it goes back and then it's like a new route.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole movie could have really been a really fun experiment on that again. Like Happy Death Day. You have the same day, you have the same event, you replay it, you do something different, you learn more
Yeah.
information, and then you come back the next time and you change fate completely. You change the destiny completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder why they like play with it for like a little bit,
Yeah.
small little scenes, and don't really like just take it for the full movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just becomes like sad because that's like Madam Web's whole point.
Yeah.
Like I know what's gonna happen, or I see the future, or I see what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could really, really go crazy with that. And they attempt to do something like that towards the end, and it just gets ridiculous. Like the third
Yeah.
act is man, you gotta question some of their choices.
Yeah.
But it just makes me feel like it starts off pretty fast when she's trying to figure out her powers. Man, if they did Happy Death Day and she was just messing around with the future, oh,
Mm.
let me not do this time. Let me try this. Let me try that. It could have been way more fun with the villain. It could have been way more fun with the three other potential Spidey girls.
Mm-hmm.
Uh man, I just definitely envision that movie being a better version. And that's why I wonder why didn't they when they read this version,
Yeah.
why didn't they say, "Hey, let's try more of what you wrote here. Let's try more of this."
It's
It just seemed like they had like 20 different movie ideas and threw it in a movie.
yeah. It's probably just because when you're working on something like this and it's Marvel, like you kind of just gotta do it. Like when it comes across your desk, I think that's what it
Yeah,
is because it's like
definitely.
you don't necessarily you don't pass up on Marvel. Like that's kind of why I think the reason why they chose to do this is. Um, but the thing that I was gonna say in my head canon of what this movie could have been was more so down to the casting of it. I think the her name was Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, Dakota
I
Johnson.
I think that because of who Madam Web is as a character, to not lean in on that at all in the movie of like who we know what she's supposed to look like um like her tropes and things like that, to not do any of that was a mistake.
Yeah,
And I think it could have been similar to like what you were saying with Happy Death Day in the sense of like trying to figure out how to stop the villain and things like that. But
yep.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis should have been Madam Web, bro. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
mean
she,
they just have it way before like
yeah,
origin. So it's like
exactly.
we
So
always remember her as old. So the movie
right,
takes place in 2003.
right. So what I propose would be for it to be somewhat of like a double existence or whatever, like a double consciousness kind of, where you get to see the origin of Madam Web, but also it connects to an older version of Madam Web where
Better. It already went up a point.
it makes the connection of like her being able to see all the different spies and what they will do,
Yeah.
more believable because they might have encountered Madam Web in the future type beat. But
100%.
because
G, I'm telling you, if you saw the movie,
yeah,
that already would have been made more sense, especially for what they did.
mm-hmm,
Like I don't know why that conversation did not take place. I
yeah,
really wonder what everything you just said can
mm-hmm,
apply to this movie,
yeah.
and it would be a better movie, and it took you 1 minute.
Yeah. I'm just
And
saying.
I just don't understand. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm not mad. It's just like someone who's approving this stuff sucks.
Mm-hmm.
They're bad at their job, bro. It's it's ridiculous because what you just said is just overall a better movie
Okay.
automatically, and you can have
Yeah.
the same villain, the same
Mm-hmm.
characters, everything.
Yeah.
It would just be make way more sense.
Yeah. Because you're able to apply more context to who the character is and who she will become by adding that extra element into it. So I don't necessarily know how it would necessarily work, but that would just be an idea. And
Yeah, no idea is a
it's
bad
just
idea when it comes to redoing this movie. They should have redone the script.
so you said somebody on the radio gave it a 0.5. What are you gonna
Yeah.
give it, bro? What are you gonna give it? Off E.
So we have an out of 10 scale.
We do. We do.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a. I don't do 0.5s,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 0.5.
Got him.
I think this one deserves some special because really it's like a 1.
Yeah.
I definitely want to come back to it. But when I first saw it, I didn't think it was as bad, but there were clear markers in the beginning of the movie that
Mhm.
was like, yeah, this ain't reaching past like a 5. Like
Mm.
automatically, the first act,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, I'm watching some old style superhero poop on the screen right now. But I'm gonna rock with it because maybe it's gonna get better. Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
you know the 3 Spider Women do more. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
like the characters. Maybe it's supposed to be more funny than I expect. You never
Yeah.
know. Oh man, like I said, if I didn't do 0.5s, it'd be a 1.
Eh.
I'm gonna give it a 0.5 though. I don't think I'll see a movie that's actually worse
Mm-hmm.
because I do think this was the direction they wanted. I think this is what the director wanted.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you have a script like this, when you have lines delivered like this, exposition,
Mm-hmm.
the plot, the powers,
Yeah.
man. And then the finale, even the last scene ending it. Oh
It
no.
was bad.
Oh no. It's bad. It's bad. And like I was saying, I'm not even mad at it. I'm more of
Yeah.
like, wow, that was
In
so bad.
disbelief.
Yeah. And I guess
Yeah.
I never thought I would get a movie this low because we
Mm-hmm.
just had Halloween Kills and I was like, bro, what the heck? But there was parts in Halloween Kills where I did like I
Right.
laughed and stuff like that. No, not this one. Not this one.
That's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Um. So I can't give a timeline on when I'm gonna actually see this. I think I'm gonna have to give it like at least a couple more weeks
Yeah.
for the rage to die down. Because when I tell you like every review or like clip that I would like kind of skim because I don't really want to hear what they got to say until I see the movie was just like, this is unprecedented. This is worse than Morbius. I was like, dang, worse than Morbius.
And that's the weird thing because
Yeah.
bad movies, like it's like more of like a 3. Like, dang, that was bad. That was a
Yeah.
bad movie. But there are certain parts of it that you're like, I mean, they're working with something, or okay,
Mhm.
I see where they put all the money in here, or
Yeah.
like, dang, they definitely didn't write that character's lines. Like here,
Right.
there's not a lot to work with. You had pretty much 4 characters on screen all the time. You had freaking
Mhm.
Emma Roberts in the dang movie,
Yeah.
and they don't give her nothing to work with.
Yeah. There's a whole Parker, bro.
The
There's a whole
villain, oh
Parker.
my, yo, bro, yeah. When you watch it, maybe we need
Yeah.
that G fire, that G flame of this movie. But like I'm just not angry, and I wouldn't go on review boards and be like, "Bruh, this is so terrible." Like,
That's what
there's
I'm
not even
saying.
memeable moments
It feels like they dragging it, but it don't feel like they're dragging it because everybody's saying the same thing.
because it's just not worth it. Like when you see it,
Yeah,
you're like, yeah,
yeah. So,
like you forget the movie in a day. You
dang,
wouldn't even remember it's a movie. It's just
that's wild, bro. Lost the history.
yeah, like if they're trying to do more of this,
Yeah.
they gotta stop. They gotta be stopped.
Okay. So you think that it's more of a higher up, like we're
Yeah, yeah,
green lighting these projects?
yeah,
I think it also comes down to directors too.
yeah.
Just because the whole thing right now in like MCU and all of these comic book movies and superhero movies is that there's this culture of always trying to create something new, right?
And they tried.
So, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think there needs to be a resurgence of like I don't know what the word would be. Is it factual or is it like they need to get back to the books, you know? Like a lot of the people are like when I say people, I mean like the directors when they go and do their press and stuff like that. They be like, yeah, Marvel and Sony and stuff like that. They encourage us to not read the books, you know, like with The Last of Us. They said, yeah, don't play the game, you know, because we want you to have a like an authentic take on the character. But there's a difference between doing that with an actor and doing that with the director who's supposed to be running the show. So when the continuity of what happens in the books doesn't match with, you know, what we get to see on screen, I feel like results in moments like this
Yeah,
where it's either a hit or it's a complete miss and there's no real in between. And I feel like that's kind of where a lot of these Sony projects and a lot of um these how you say his name, Wakiki, Tahiti
yeah.
Wakiki or something like
I
that,
think so.
whoever did Thor Love and Thunder. That's where he laying at, because it's just like, bro, they have all the reference material they could ever want to make some of these decisions that they're making, but they're encouraged not to, and to kind of bring their own spin on, which is not a bad thing if you have like if you're like um well versed in who that character is supposed to be, you know,
Like
not who you want them
they
to
could
be
have
this
went back
time.
to the basics
Yeah.
and have the whole thriller of, let's figure out who the bad guy. They didn't even try to do that, G. Like I don't get the direction.
Yeah.
I don't know why they made the choices they made, and it really makes me question the
Hmm.
higher ups. Like
Yeah.
they could have brought this to a normal, basic origin story movie where we said, geez, we done seen this before. I
Yeah.
would have sat here and, flamed it and been like, it's a 3. But dang, a
Hmm.
3 is still better than what I just saw.
Yeah.
Like sometimes origin story movies are bad,
Hmm.
but geez,
It should be hard to mess them up.
yeah, that's how I feel. It should be hard to get reach this level
Hmm.
because it makes you wonder. Because I don't even think it was like, oh, we chopped it wrong or they didn't let us do that. It's kind of like they purposely put them in a box and then said make a movie, and you realize there's not a lot you can make in this type of movie. There's just not much I can do.
Yeah.
The main character barely grows. I mean, she sort of didn't really care in the beginning, and towards the end when she's Madam Web, she's still the same character, and I'm like,
Hmm.
bro, I don't believe that, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Dang. That's rough.
Yeah,
But
Sony,
it
Sony,
is what
Sony.
it is, man. I mean, even when uh even when they announced the movie, It was more so like, are we ready for a Madden Web movie right now?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like
How is this linking? What does this mean?
I don't think they care anymore to link. I think it's more so like we trying to pump these joints out, and the ones that are supposed to connect will connect. You know, especially with seeing that freaking Deadpool trailer. It's just like all
Like,
bets are off at this point.
yeah, it's whenever I think of Sony MCU stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna be a little worrisome. Like,
Yeah.
you could be going into a mega dud. Crazy.
It's tough.
I thought Morbius was special. Apparently not.
Mm.
This will not get re-released like Morbius did too, by the way. There's no way. There's just no way.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think there's a single memeable moment in this thing. It's very forgettable.
Do you think it will end up on streaming?
Oh yeah. They should bring this to streaming now because they're not gonna get as much publicity as they are right now. People will not go see this movie. They will not.
Yeah.
And I would advise them not to, unfortunately. Don't support this type of film. Don't support Sony here. This is not where you should put your money at.
Urgent.
Like G did.
So far. It might end up there next week. What's gonna come out? I don't know. We're gonna see.
True.
Okay. I think we beat Battle Women to the ground enough. What you geeked about, bro? What are you actually excited about?
Crazy turnaround. Crazy turnaround. I'm geeked about Love is Blind season 6.
Oh my gosh, no.
I've been watching
this show.
I've been watching. They've listened to past criticisms, made the pod dating scenes much longer than the previous seasons, because that's really where the drama and pettiness was at, and it's really was the most entertaining part of Love is Blind.
Yeah.
And I've been liking it so far. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that first episode really had me hooked. So we're like four episodes in, and I can't wait to finish that up. So pretty geeked to finish that, and congratulations, Netflix. You're improving.
I'm weak, bro. I was not expecting you to say Love is Blind. I ain't gonna cap. But that joint is popping. That joint is popping right now. Definitely not Love is Blind. Like, when I say, I was just like, I was on TikTok, and you know how like TikTok could be like suggesting you stuff? Yeah. It was like, it said something about Love is Blind, such and such said they look like
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. And I was like, yo, what is going on? What is going on? How is this show still happening? And for you to say season 6 is wild, bro, because I remember when season 1 came on.
Yeah.
And I watched that one, and I never watched it again, bro. Yep. Because what the heck? That joint was drama. But that's funny. What am I geeked about? I'm geeked about. It's a lot of shows that's about to drop, like at the end of the month. We got Avatar. We got Shogun. I just started the Vince Staples show on Netflix. That joint is funny. It's really good.
Oh yeah.
It's only 5 episodes, so I'm kind of pacing myself right now. But outside of that, I just been watching Suits, bro. I thought I was close to season 5, but this joint just keep turning up, bro. It keeps turning up, and I don't know how I'm gonna finish it fast enough, because it's like the pacing of the show is starting to get to me. Where I'm like, yo, how many times can they avoid jail, bro? Like, they be going through it. But Mike just proposed to Rachel, and I was like, yeah. And then Donna left Harvey, and I was like, wow. After all that, bro. After all that, like, That joint's crazy, bro. That joint's crazy. That's what I've really been watching. But I'm also in my One Piece grind right now.
Nice.
And I found I met my first Wanoan, which is a talking head.
That's
a talking
crazy.
head, and well, he's a samurai, but I don't know why his body's chopped up yet. I'm figuring it out. And Smoker is there, and so is Law. And I think it was Law. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I just think it's funny they don't call him Law, call him by his real name, with his first name. And it's like,
Was it Trafalgar?
yeah, tough.
Something like
I'm like, yo, no way I'm saying that 5 times in a row, bro.
Yeah.
So that joint is lit. Solo Loving is lit. What else? I think that's it. Oh, I was on like 2 podcasts last week or something like that. Like outside, like other shows and stuff like that. That those episodes been dropping on socials and on YouTube. And I'm in the gym crazy right now. My legs feel like
That's
tree trunks, bruh.
okay. Ready for that combine.
Nah. Nah, I could never, bro. I could never. I seen a clip today where it was like one of the like high school combines or whatever, but it was like I think it was like the Under Armour one or something like that. And this kid was like, "Yeah, my name is Asher such and such. I'm 6'4", 235, and I'm 14 years old." I was like, "No way." I was like, "Yo, he bigger than me at 14, and he moving, bro. Like, boy, fast, bro." I was like, "Yo, there's no way." I was like, "Yo, these kids built different now, bro." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yo, he league now," and that's crazy. But yeah,
You're
my
faster,
first,
stronger every year that goes by. It's crazy.
yeah, my first real week back, fully. I'm tired. I'm tired, but I'm here.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
But yeah, man, that's all I got, bro. You got anything else before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Let's hope Avatar got some secret sauce in it. Come on,
There's no way
Netflix.
it's bad, bro. There's no way. There's
Oh man,
no
we got to clip
way,
that. We're gonna have to clip that.
bruh. I don't know. I don't know. Like when they say that it's good, they are saying it knowing how bad the first movie is.
True.
And this is a show. And
Yeah.
it's like
You have
this is
more wiggle
also
room.
one of the greatest stories ever told.
Yeah.
So they can't mess it up, bro. They just can't. I seen Boomy
Dang, you better knock
in the
on wood,
clip.
bro.
I seen a. I mean, well, I have the original, so if I ever like, if this is not good, I could just still watch the original. But it's just, it should be fun. It should be fun.
Yeah. Excited.
Yeah, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and rate the podcast 5 stars if you're on your favorite audio platform. Tell somebody about us. Let them know that the YM Geek Show is where you want to go. We see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.